Almost immediately as glucose rises, insulin secretion ramps up too. It's released from the beta cells of the pancreas.
The beta cells, they're like the watchmen for blood sugar levels.
Constantly monitoring, yeah. And when glucose goes up, they release insulin.
So what's insulin's main instruction right after a meal? What's it telling the body?
Its primary job then is twofold, really. Get glucose out of the bloodstream and into certain tissues and signal for it to be stored.
Okay, uptake and storage. Which tissues are we talking about for uptake?
The big ones are muscle tissue and adipose tissue, fat tissue.
Muscle and fat. And they're significant because they make up a lot of our body mass.
Exactly, that's key.
Right.
Because they're so large, they can potentially take up a lot of glucose.
Right. So how does insulin actually facilitate that? How does it get the glucose into the muscle and fat cells?
This is where it's quite elegant. Insulin signals to these cells to increase the number of glucose transporters on their surface, specifically transporters called GLUT4.
GLUT4. So insulin is like unlocking doors, or maybe putting more doors onto the cell surface.
Pretty much putting more doors out there, yeah. Insulin binds to its receptor, and that triggers a process inside the cell that moves these GLUT4 transporters, which are normally inside the cell, up to the cell membrane.
Ah, okay. So more open doors means more glucose can get out of the blood and into those muscle and fat cells.
Precisely. And because muscle and fat are such large tissues, activating these GLUT4 transporters can pull a significant amount of glucose out of circulation, helping to lower blood sugar levels back down.
Makes sense. They act like major glucose sponges, essentially, when insulin gives the signal?
That's a good way to think about it.
Okay, so that covers the uptake part. You also mentioned storage.
Yes. Insulin also promotes the storage of glucose, mainly as glycogen. This happens particularly in the liver and also in muscles themselves.
Glycogen, that's like the body's readily accessible carb reserve.
Exactly. Short-term storage. So taking glucose up and storing it helps clear it from the blood.
Right. We've got the glucose spike, insulin responding from the pancreas, GLUT4 doors opening on muscle and fat, uptake happening, and some storage as glycogen. Now, let's bring in exercise. How does that change the picture?
Okay, so during exercise, your muscles are obviously working hard. They need energy.
And they use glucose for that energy.
They use it rapidly. That glucose inside the muscle cell gets broken down through glycolysis and further metabolized to produce ATP, the energy currency.
So exercise creates a demand inside the muscle cell.
A very immediate demand. Now think about combining that with insulin's effect.
Okay. Insulin helped get more glucose into the muscle cell by increasing the GLUT4 transporters.
Right. And exercise is now burning through that glucose inside the cell at a much faster rate.
Ah, I see. It's insulin opens the gates to the factory, and exercise turns on the machinery inside, using up the supplies as soon as they arrive.
That's a perfect analogy. It's a synergy. You've got increased supply and increased demand happening at the same time in the same place, the muscle.